Hello, Tableau friends and family. We are back for another Workout Wednesday walkthrough. This is week 44, and what we're looking at this week is one of Tableau's most popular new features for a very good reason, and it is set actions. I am very excited to try out this workout because I truly have not tried this feature yet. I don't fully understand how it works, and I'm excited to get familiar with it. Just so you can see that I am not lying to you, I am downloading Tableau 2018.3 as we speak for the first time. So this should be interesting, if nothing else, to watch me struggle through working with set actions. Let's go ahead and get started and see where we can get. All right, so now that we have Tableau downloaded, we can get started. Let's see where we get with this Workout Wednesday. What I want to work on first is just building this tree map. I've seen this a lot on Twitter, I've seen it on Devs on Stage, and I'm still just not entirely sure how to accomplish this because I'm not entirely sure how set actions work yet. So that's where I want to focus my effort, is building this tree map interaction, and then I'm guessing the rest will come fairly easily. It looks like Anne has set actions in play on the line chart as well as it drills down into itself. So we'll see if we can accomplish this. And let's just get started. So the tree map here is looking to be category, subcategory, and product name. If I'm guessing right, what we're going to have to do is kind of build our own hierarchy using sets. We probably want a single dimension to be on our view for the tree map, and I think it's going to work best that way, if not the only way it could work. So we will probably have to build a couple different sets and use it kind of just as a binary is member of this set or is not member of this set, and switch out the dimension based on that. It's kind of the same way parameters work, but this is a little more interactive and a little more flexible, I guess. So let's try to build that. So what I want to do is see if we can get there with that methodology just mentioned. So category, subcategory, and product name. We could build out a tree map, right? So let's say category and sales. Just go to show me because it's easy, and build a tree map. And this looks similar to what Anne was displaying. Category, we have that here. Technology, furniture, office supplies. We can go check our numbers. We have 264,000. We have 836 there. We're looking at the East region. So you know me, I like to make sure I'm looking at the same numbers as Anne and Luke and Roddy. So 264, 974, 264, 974. We're on the right track. I could say, like, let's just expand this, right? But this does not work how the demo works. If we go look at the tweet, we can see that if someone were to click in on one of these sections, we would get like the context remaining on the other categories while drilling into subcategory on the category that we're interested in. So Tableau's traditional hierarchy does not work in this instance. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and create sets on these fields that we're looking at. I'm going to remove the hierarchy that Tableau has built in for these and just see where we can get without that. It'll just be a little less annoying to work with. So I'm going to right click on category and say create a set. What I can do here is just use all of them. It doesn't really matter at this point because the set action, if I'm understanding the feature right, will overwrite what I put in this set. So whatever you do here, I think really is just setup. You don't need to select anything into the set because the action will do that for you. So I'm going to call this my category set. Hit OK. We wanted to go into, let's see, subcategory and product. So I'm going to do the same thing for subcategory. I'll create a set. Call this my subcategory set. Again, I'm going to use all because we're using actions to define what is in and out of the set, not defining it right now as you traditionally would have. Let's do one more on product. So like I said earlier, I think what we want to do is just create a calculated field that will swap in and out of these sets as we interact. I'm probably going to fail a couple times here and see, how we fail. I'm not really sure how the feature works fully, so let's just give it a go, and maybe we'll get it right the first time. So I'm just going to call this dynamic dimension for tree map, for lack of anything better to say. And what we're going to say, I think we're going to look at a few levels of an if statement. And so we might start here. So if you're in the category set, then we might want to display the subcategory. And if you're in the subcategory set, then we would probably want to display the product itself. And now that I'm thinking about this a little bit more, I probably don't need the product set, but we'll see. So if you're in the category set, then subcategory. Else if you're in the subcategory set, then product name. And let's just throw else category here on the end. I am thinking this is a decent first pass at what we want to do. So let's click OK. We're going to go back to Show Me and do a tree map with our dynamic dimension and see what happens. So this is not what I expected. So we'll figure it out, right? We can go to Worksheets and check out our action menu. And let's do a change set values. I want to do it on select. I want this to be my data source. It's the only data source. And the target set is the category set. Missing fields on sheet 1. I think that's just saying I don't have that level of detail on my view. So let's go ahead and throw that there. We could maybe also throw, no, we have that. So let's see. Go back to Worksheet Actions and see if we can even get anything close to what we want. So we're going to add that action again, change the set values, select our data source, select our set, and clearing the selection will remove all values from the set. I think that sounds like the right one. So let's go ahead and hit OK. And that gave us some more detail. We're getting some interesting things here. What I'm seeing looks to be the product name itself, the hot file 7 pocket floor stand. That's a product name, and I don't think this is something I wanted to see. So you can see I'm drilling in and out. Got phones, and when I unclick, I get back to this mess of a tree map. So I'm not really sure. I'm going to go ahead and just try something different. I'm thinking maybe I want to build 2 calculated fields that represent the values when we click into the set each different time. So we're going to call this set subcategory. And we're going to say if category set, then subcategory end. And maybe this would make more sense if we could just get it to work at one level of detail. I'm going to go modify that calc just a little bit to go back to category. And I think, okay, now we can put this on here. Okay, this is looking better. Don't want tooltips, so worksheet actions. I'm going to modify this set action that we have. Hit OK. Let's put category here and see if we can get this to work how we want it to. Okay, this might be right. So if I click on storage, if I click on technology, we look to get our different tech items. If I click on furniture, we should get our different furniture items. And I think this is working more appropriately than it was before. I do believe clearing the selection should add all values to the set because I want to go back to where it was. So if I click technology, I'll be OK. Let's maybe add category to color so this makes a little more sense. OK, I cleared that. And it's not working how we want it to work. Okay, you know what? There is no shame in getting a little help when you haven't used a new feature. So I'm just going to go ahead and Google Tableau set actions, and maybe Tableau will give us a little bit of information. So the Tableau online help here may or may not contain everything you want it to. The Tableau online help is a very great resource when you just can't find a blog because they've likely put out how to use the new features as they get released. So asymmetrical drill down, that sounds pretty close to what we're looking for. So if category set, then subcategory, else category. That's essentially what I just wrote, I believe. So if category set, then subcategory, else category. So that's a good sign. I think this is similar, right? So if I look at this asymmetrical drill down, this is very close to what we see in a tree map. We're drilling down at different levels of detail and getting different interactions that we couldn't get before. So I think this is the article I want to get to. Again, I have never used this feature before. This is my first time. So I don't have any shame in looking for help in order to get there. It can only help you get better in the future. So create a set for the category field. Choose any category. This membership is temporarily overwritten, so I had that theory right. Create a calculated field named asymmetric subcategory, being that. So I have, this is my version of asymmetric subcategory. I don't have the fancy name, but regardless, I have the same calc. This is great news. Create a second set for the new asymmetric subcategory field named subcategory set. So that's where I'm looking a little bit wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Yes. Let's go ahead and take our asymmetric subcategory and create a set from that. Whatever. If subcategory set, then manufacturer else quotes. So this would be our asymmetric protagory. Protagory? Did I just say protagory? I meant product category. What in the world? So if asym subcat, then product else quotes in. Okay, so let's see how they built this. We have all of those pills on the view. So we're going to have to do that with our tree map as well. So we can go ahead and say, give me asymmetrical product, the set subcategory, and the actual category field. We can grab sales as well, and we can create a tree map. And we have all the values because we let them all in our set right now. Again, we're going to override this function or this setting when we build our actions. So let's go ahead and build that action. Not a tooltip. Again, I don't know why I keep clicking on that. here. So we have this first one, select action, remove all the values from the set, and target the category set. Okay, great. So we have our category of technology. Let's click it. Let's remove it. And maybe this matters more than I thought if I just did one value. Okay, that might actually matter. So we got furniture. We're going to unclick. This is working really janky. I don't understand what is happening. Maybe you have to navigate through the entire hierarchy to get there. Or maybe I need to add the next one. So if I go to Worksheet Actions, add another set action, select, remove all values, Sample Superstore, and the ASIM subcategory set. We can hit OK. And maybe we'll get back to where we think we should get. This is blowing my mind. Create a second set action. Select the following options. Okay, really confused here. So that's looking okay, right? I clicked into phones, and now I'm getting a bunch of phones. If I click out of phones, I'm getting back here to technology, to the wider array of subcategories. What I'm not getting back to is my category view, because that's what we want, right? We want those 3 marks back at the very end. So let's see if I just needed to build a category set, which I do have here. Maybe we just need to do this. So if I did another action, change set values, select Sample Superstore, category set, and remove all the values from the set. Okay, so look, we're back at it. So we have technology, office supplies, and furniture. Same as Ann's here. If we were to click on technology, we would get that to be drilled in, which is great. So we have furniture drilling into itself, and then Ann's down to the product level, and it looks like that clears out. So I can click on phones, and I can see my hierarchy back here. The only thing I don't really like is the double click there at the end to get back to the category view. So I'm wondering if instead of having this quote here at the end, then maybe we could say go back to category. So let's click on tech. Let's click on phones. Let's click on a phone and unclick. And we're back to our view. So I like that. I think that seems okay. And let's see if we can talk about what this is actually doing, so it will make a little more sense to me alone. So we have 3 pills, or discrete dimensions on our view. Category, our set subcategory, and our ASIM product. Excuse me for the poor naming. Category is coming from the data source. That is technology, office supplies, and furniture. Set subcategory is this calculation. So if you're in the category set, then display the subcategory. And if not, display the category again. So right now, we told the worksheet to go in there, target the category set. So on that select, if I click technology, that will add this technology value to the set. After that, the set subcategory field will get activated and then be that different level of detail. So on the second set action we have here, we're targeting the ASIM subcategory, and clearing the selection will remove all the values from the set. So I'm going to select the ASIM subcategory, and when you're a member of that set, you will get the ASIM product field activated. Because if we look at this, if you're in the ASIM subcat, then we're going to display product name. And when it gets cleared, that else, so I define my set action as remove all values. When it gets cleared out, you'll be back to the category field. I'm sure there's more elegant ways to explain that, but with my knowledge of this feature now, that's as best as I can do. I think I understand how it's working, and that's pretty cool. We're probably going to get more well-written, well-thought-out thoughts about this feature, and hopefully it'll be easier. But this is how I learn, is just struggling through a new feature. So hopefully watching me struggle helps you do the same. So let's see if we can finish this up. Hopefully we're close. So if we look at Anne's view, we're selected on our east region. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to persist this across all sheets. And we're going to build out this line chart. We're looking at what is a month value. So let's go ahead and create an order month field. As you've seen in previous videos, I like to just work with the actual date parts than working with Tableau's hierarchy. So this helps me if I just get the order month itself and use that instead of anything else. So we're going to make that continuous. This, I'm guessing, is sales. It's always sales, so no big deal there. And we see a spike here in November, and we have $33,951. So there we go. We have the same line chart. And let's go ahead and build a dashboard and see if we can just make this make sense. So we have our dashboard. What are the rules here? 1200 by 800 with 2 sheets. So we have 2 sheets. That's great. 1200 by 800. I'm going to go ahead and float out a vertical, as is my typical method, and just place it over the entire dashboard. I'm going to add 2 blanks to that to make things easy to understand. I'm going to add sheet 3, the line chart, and I'm going to add sheet 1, our tree map. We'll say fill the entire view, and we're going to go ahead and just remove these blanks. Okay, cool. So let's see what we have here. Anne has kind of given like us a brushing filter, if you will. So I can go ahead and grab a few months and drill in and see those. So what I want to do here is build a couple different actions. I'm thinking maybe this is another set action, but I think I can accomplish this a different way. We'll see how this plays out. So I want to look at this GIF here and see how one gets back to the prior view. So actually, let's just look at it here. So if I select these marks, and then I can click the screen. That's the interesting part. So here, I can click the screen and it clears back, which I find to be a very interesting thing that's happening. I honestly, I don't even understand where that click is coming from. Let's see if the instructions give us anything. So create a way for the user to select months and drill filter the line chart. This should also filter the tree map below. It's very weird. Okay, well, let's see what we can do. So if I say, give me a filter action, and I'm going to target sheet 3 because I want that self-filtering self-filtering behavior to be in play. And if I go ahead and just use order month, which is the only dimension on our view, we can start to see if we can get that line line filtering to work. So I have an action in play. I'm going to grab these 3 marks, and we're going to get those 3 marks. And when I click, we're going back out. What I think won't happen, okay, there we go. So the point is just to drill in and keep that drill down functionality going. So these marks actually are selected, and clicking anywhere in the view will clear that selection. That's why you see these dots. So I can highlight them, I see the dots, that's great, and the dots persist when you are drilled in. I can keep going, and they'll keep being dots. But when I go back out of this main view, we just get our line chart again, which is the same behavior you're seeing here. So I can select on this, I can get those 3 dots highlighted, and I can click out of it. So that's what I'm going to do. This is what this is a method I use quite a bit, where you're actually using more of a worksheet action on a dashboard. So instead of targeting sheet 3 at the dashboard level, I'm targeting sheet 3, the worksheet. So this is a self-filter on a dashboard action. So on a select from sheet 3, we target ourselves, and we just use all fields, because the only field in play is that order month. Okay, so we're going to just rename this line self-filter. We're also going to go ahead and build line to tree map. And this is the place where we want to keep it on the traditional dashboard action menu. So here, if I do this, I'm going to show all values when I clear the selection. I'm going to send order month to the other worksheet. Hit OK. So now when I do this, I'll get those 3 marks there, and we'll be narrowed down to the appropriate data below. And when I clear it out, we'll be fine. So if I select those same 3 marks, I can balance out my numbers to Ann's dashboard. So I have 37, 121, 33, 852, and 17, 872. So I think we're OK. We can also drill in, and I'm not sure that this is supposed to affect the line chart. It looks like the line chart stays static when Ann drills into the tree map. So here we have our set actions that don't work because I built them at the worksheet. So I'm just going to add them back here. So sheet 1 is our target. We're going to do the category set, and we're going to remove all. We're going to build the second one. I believe we had 2. And we're going to do the asym subcat. And I'll go back to the worksheet here and just balance out that I'm building the same sets as I built on the dashboard. So we have set 1, set 2, set 3, category, asym subcategory, add all values to the set. Here we go. Remove all values from the set. And then another remove all values from the set. I don't even know if we need that one. Yeah, we do. Okay, so let's go back here. So we have our category, add all values to the set, and let's build one more that is the remove all values from the category set. So let's see if we get this. So we're going here, we'll click. Going to undo about 1 billion times and see how I screwed this up. So click, 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 and back. In our worksheet here, we have 3 actions. So we have category in the category set, asym subcat remove all, and category set remove all on select. Category set select, add, asym subcat remove, and one more of category set remove. Bingo. Okay, so I think we are generally there. Let's see. There's just some formatting steps to do, things to clean up, and I think we're really close. The interactions seem to be working the same. I'm still not feeling super comfortable with set actions, so that will be something I need to work on personally. But I do think we are close regardless. So let's work on cleanup now and see if we can wrap this up here in the next few minutes. Okay, so let's go back to the instructions and see if we can fix this up and finish up our workout. Like I said, I think we have the general interaction done. Let's see if we can get the colors to go how they should be. So if we look at Anne's workout, again, the set actions aren't working properly on Tableau Public yet, but we can kind of get the sense of what's going on here. So we have different color scale here. It looks like to be a diverging palette. So let's start to build that out. Didn't really think about formatting yet, so we will get there as we get there. So we have what looks to be color at the category level. So I'm just going to go back to my tree map here and add color to category. Change this around. It also looks to be dynamic based on the drill pattern. So we have 2 levels of color. When you click into one of those categories, we're going to see different shades of blue or green or orange. So let's go ahead and build that out. And what I might do in this situation is just add a copy of sum of sales. Okay, that's not going to work. Let me just go ahead and create another measure here just for fun. Add this to my marks card and change it to be discrete. And from there, we can add this to color and we'll get a different palette. And Tableau should reevaluate this every time. So let's see if we can match this up to Anne's. We have green technology, blue furniture, and orange office supplies. So we are already there. Good to go. And let's make sure the sorting is working out how we should. So I'm assuming the darkest values should be the darker color, and so on and so forth. Which is looking like that's really not the case. Let's see what's going on. So if I can check Anne's version on Twitter, we can see what's happening. So we have darker. That looked kind of funny. I really wish that I could just see what's going on. So we just have varying colors. It looks like darker does not equal higher sales. So I'm just going to leave this as is. I think we'll be okay there. If I go to my dashboard, I can click through this as we built and get that big tree map with just one color. So I think we're okay. And if we look at the labels here, you can see create dynamic labels and tooltip for the tree map that display based on the level of detail shown. So this should be interesting. I'm going to go ahead and move all of these to detail. Oops. There we go. I am also going to move sales to label. I know that I want that. And now we just need to build out a different level of label. So the top portion of the label, or the one portion of the label when you drill in, is just the value that you're on, whether it's category, subcategory, or product. So let's see if we can build that out. I'm guessing this is just going to be a single calculated field based on the sets that we've been working with. So we're going to call this something like dynamic label and build it out. So if you're in the category set, then we want to show you the subcategory. Else, if you're in the subcategory set, then we want to show you the product. Let's see if this works. Again, I'm not totally familiar with how these set actions are going to behave, so I'm not sure I'm going to get the right answer right off the bat, but we can see where we get. If you're not in the category set, then category. We'll see if this produces the output we're expecting. And so we're already getting an error. Expected type Boolean found string. Comparison and if expression must be Boolean. Whoops. This is what we're looking for. There we go. Okay, so we have something. We have a dynamic label. We have our appropriate labels showing right now, just the category. If I drill in, I'm getting different levels. I'm getting accessories, phones, machines. If I drill in, I am getting now the same thing, accessories, which is not what I wanted to see. So something's wrong at the third level. So let's go back here. Let's clear this out and see if we can adjust this dynamic label. So if you're not the category set, then category. And if the category set is activated, then subcategory. And if you're in the ASIM subcategory set, then product name, which I really would have thought that this would do what we wanted it to do. So it's potential, there's potential that I just need to add the category set here as well and look at both. And let's see if this goes and does what we want. So technology, then we get the subcategory, and then we still get the subcategory. Okay, so what could be going wrong here? We have top level, nothing's happening. It shows category. Then if the category set gets activated, we are good. Really would have thought this would have taken care of it. So I'm not quite sure what's happening. Wondering if we just said else product name. Okay. So what this means, while we try to figure out what's going wrong, is the third level here that we're looking at now, the third level of drilling, is evaluating to true on this line. It's the only reason why subcategory would still be displayed. So let's add something here and not. Maybe this will take care of it. Oh, we might have got that. So I'm still not 100% sure what's going on. That's fine. But I did know that when we had our calculation set to this and we were still seeing the subcategory on our tree map, that means that based on the order of operations of how an if statement works from top to bottom, we were evaluating to true here on this line. So I needed to add something to the second line to make the third level not evaluate to true there. So just taking a wild guess, adding the asym subcat not being activated did the trick. So category set's activated, but this one is not yet activated. So we're going to show subcategory. And since we know our level of drill ends there, I just threw an else product name at the very end, which gives us what we want. So we can see now in this branch, we have those products where we still have the subcategory up here, and we still have the category over here in blue and orange. So we're looking at 3 different levels of details in the same view. So this is pretty cool. I'm excited to see where people take this feature, and I'm excited to learn it more because I'm obviously struggling through it. So let's see what we ticked off. We have dynamic labels that display based on the level of detail shown. Great. The labels look to be pretty standard. In typical and fashion, they are uppercase, so we can go and change that. Looks like the text is somewhat bolded, so let's go ahead and change that as well. And we're just going to go in here to our dynamic label and wrap the entire thing in upper. Okay, so there's our labels. Bang, bang, bang. Good. So I'm guessing we need to work on tooltips as well. So we had technology, had sales of blah. And we're just going to go ahead and finish that out. So if I say, let's just delete everything. Dynamic label had sales of sum of sales. And these were bolded. These were not. Get rid of those and go. So furniture had sales of this. And that's drilling down for us. So we have bookcases, tables. We can start to see the products. So I think we are good. So the dynamic label did the trick for us. Let's change the title here. I'm just going to grab this right off Tableau Public. Since that is just a title object, I can just take the text and cheat a little bit. We're going to make this a little bit smaller. Okay, bang, bang, bang. Order month, let's format this to match Anne's formatting. So we have the full month name and the year. Okay, let's go ahead and make this a little bit smaller because that's just a little too much. We don't need the order month title, so we'll get rid of that. We don't have the tick marks, we can get rid of those. None. So we're looking good. We have some faint borders, a zero line. Looks like the grid lines need to be removed. And we should generally be okay on this line chart. Let's go change it to black just to satisfy the image in the workout. So I can still go ahead and grab this. I can get those 3 dots. It filters down here. I can click through here and see what's going on, which is pretty cool. And we are going to just get the rest of these figured out. So we'll change our title there, make it smaller. We can add just a text box up to the top of our container and just write out the title here. Ready, set. Let's drill down on sales. Let's make that bigger, bold, close enough. And we can go ahead and add our region filter, which goes in our dreaded tiled object. So let's just go ahead and grab that out and float it. I'm going to throw a horizontal object here, add my text box for my title, and add my region filter in a single value dropdown with the all option exposed. So we have region. Okay, so it looks good. So we have our title, we have our region, we have titles here, we have a line chart with the appropriate formatting. We don't have our tooltips fixed here, but those are easy, so we just have the month and sales. Really, all I need to do is go take off the label here. Uncheck those. Now we have our month, our sales. We have a dynamic tree map here, which we can filter in and out of. Something seems to be wrong there. Oh, looks like I was just getting in the wrong level, so I don't know what was happening. I don't like how the tree map sorting moves around, so I'm going to go ahead and define the sort here as a manual sort and just lock it in. Okay, there we go. And hopefully that will keep things where they belong. It's really weird. Oh well, we'll figure that out another day. Need to move on. So I think we are good to go here. Let's check out the rules. So we have a tree map. We have a way for a user to select months and drill filter on the line chart, which also filters the tree map. The tree map can drill down to subcategory and product name within its own little tree branch. We have dynamic labels. We have matching formatting and adding a region filter for fun. So I believe we are done here. I will publish this to Tableau Public right after this video is complete. I had a good time, I guess for lack of a better words, completing this workout, and definitely makes me realize that I need to work on set actions. I hope that you got something out of this, and I hope that you can see all of the potential for set actions, and we will see you next week. Thank you.